Good morning, my friends. So I hope you had a really good chance this weekend to enjoy yourselves. Maybe you got a chance to see the Thunderbirds and took a break from the debacle of last week's recording that had no audio to it. So I didn't want to push you because I messed that one up. So I gave you a little bit of extra time to finish last week's lesson. But today we should pretty much finish up your Google Maps. The last thing we need to do is connect all those points. We're going to play connect the dots today. And then we'll turn in the whole map. Now, first thing, I hope you were able to go in here, and I want you to, first of all, let's go into Google Drive. Let's start with that. In Google Drive, if you go to your main drive, didn't turn on my pen, do that. If you go to your main drive, you will actually see, probably in your main drive, down in your backpack, that spot that you should have nice and cleaned up, no loose files down there. Today's a good day to check that. So, because on Thursday, I'm going to ask you to give me a screenshot of your cleaned up drive. So there should be something with your map right there, and it's going to have a little pin, just like that. And you should have two of them. You should have a test map and a perfect vacation map. But you'll notice that it has the little pin on it, and that will show you that you have a Google map. Now, if you try to open up that Google map, it probably will prompt you to open up in Google Maps or one of your mapping programs. It probably won't prompt you to open up in Google Chrome. But I do want you to know that that map is there. So we're not going to open it from Drive, but you should probably drag that over to your P7 folder, as that's where you're working on it. Where we are going to open it is we're going to go back into Chrome, and we're going to go under your bookmarks. And remember, we put things under your bookmarks. So down here, click on bookmarks. And down at the bottom, you should have My Maps. So we're going to click on that My Maps. And we are going to open up our perfect vacation. Come on. There we are. Now, you should have all of your points set in there. You should have your 3 points. And if we look over at our legend, you should have your departure, arrival, all of those set out there very neatly. Now, our last piece that we need to do is we need to connect the dots. Okay. Now, when we're doing roads, we did routes. We did that on our test map. But when we're doing long distances, like this airline flight that goes over water like this, we want to start with our map so that we can see both of those points. So first off, I want you to make sure you can see both of those points. So click on those, and you should be able to see 2 airplanes. You may not, but we're going to fix that. I just want you to see your cluster or your 1 point and your other point here. So once you've done that and you found your 2 points, you've zoomed out, you've got them both on your map, I want you to click on this little line option right here. Now this can get tricky. We are going to add a line or shape in this case, because we can't drive or walk or bicycle across the ocean. We're going to do a straight line. So what I want you to do is I want you to tap on your first point. Now you'll notice that that little dot appeared. Do it 1 time. Now here's the tricky part, and here's where everyone messes things up. So I want you to very carefully, I need you to double tap the end line. And if you did it correctly, you'll see line 7. Now, why does it show me line 7? Probably because I've made 6 lines before this one. But I'm going to label this one. And I'm going to label this LAX to Bora. So you could do LAX or John Wayne or whatever airport you flew off to the other. Get rid of your keyboard, and we go ahead and hit save. Now we don't need to mess with this. We can if we want to. If you really want to make this line a different color or something of that nature, and we say, oh, everything we're going to do here is going to be purple, we can do that. We can mess with those things. We can add pictures. We can do different things, but we can't really mess with too much. We could add a couple things, but you see that our options are more limited than they are with the pins. So there we have it. Now, this is what might happen. If you come out, and this is the mistake we make. So you click out here and you accidentally click off the side and you're like, oh, well, I'll just click over here and then I'll click over here and then I'm going to try to, whoa, what did I forget to do? And I'm going to, oh no, I need to try that again. The only way you end a line is by double clicking. So you find that last point and you double click on it. It says that. And I don't want this zigzaggy line. Just going to delete that line. And you can see that the lines show up over here in my legend. Okay? So remember, one click and then double tap. Now here's the thing. This one, if I zoom in over here, it looks like my line goes right to my pin. Oh my gosh, did I actually do this right the first time? It does. No matter how much I zoom in, it stays right on my pin. Sometimes the little white dot will be off to the side, and then I can just grab it and drag it back, and it'll snap onto the pin. All right. But I bet when I come all the way over here, zooming, zooming, zooming. Oh my goodness. This never happens. I'm never this lucky, by the way. I guess I have to say I was lucky one time. But I actually hit my airport pin. I don't know how that happened. A lot of times I will hit one of my other pins, or the pin itself will be dropped out here into the ocean or not close by. Just drag it over closer and eventually drag it over and it'll snap to the pin you want, which is your airplane. You should have your two airports connected. Okay. So if you do that, if you're lucky like me, that's amazing. But if not, just move that end point, that little white point, and drop it over here on the end. Now, something may happen. Now, I'm traveling kind of north to south. And if any of you know anything about the Earth happens to be a sphere. And so if I'm doing 2 points, for example, if I were flying over here to South Korea, this is what it would look like. If I click on there and I click on my airport and I click on South Korea, now have I ended my line? And if I try to click up here, what's going to happen? So I'm just going to do that. So, but when I do, what I'm trying to show you here is that it's curved. That's actually a straight line, but it follows the curvature of the Earth. Well, why didn't mine curve from north to south? Well, when we make a map and we take that sphere and we lay it out flat, the north to south actually stays straight. What gets stretched out is the edges. And so it will create this sphere, this round line. Don't worry, it's supposed to look like that. So if you guys went east to west or west to east, you are going to see that curvature. And what you're seeing is a straight line along the actual curvature of the Earth. You're just seeing it on a flat two-dimensional map. So it's kind of cool that Google does that. It follows the curvature of the Earth. So, which is cool because if I fly to England a lot of the time, you fly over closer to the North Pole than you think you did because it's the shorter route. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take that line and I can either tap on the line itself and delete it, or I can come over here and I can edit that and delete it as well. But either way, I can do it. Usually easier just to tap on the line. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to zoom back in on the rest of my pins, and you can see they're kind of scattered around Bora Bora. Now, the reason I choose Bora Bora for this is sometimes I'm going to have to travel over water, and sometimes I'm going to be able to travel over land, but I need to try that. So first thing I want to do is I want to make sure and grab this line, and if I just hold that line down, you see how it kind of changed colors? That means I can drag it, and I'm going to put it between my two departure points. I want to make sure that you guys have your points in the correct order. So it starts with departure and arrival. And if they're not, you can move those pins just as easily. All right. Well, there we go. And I can move those pins around if I want to. So move your pins, and then so it should say departure. It should have your line, and it should say arrival. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to tap on your location. Actually, what I want to do is I want to tap on my airport, and I'm going to click on the route button if I can. Okay. Now, you'll notice because I tapped on that original line, it gives me a route from Bora Bora International. And then I'm going to go in here. Whoops. And I'm going to type the name of my hotel. What did I name that? Is the Bora Bora Intercontinental. So there it is right there, Bora Bora Intercontinental. I'm going to choose that. Now, look what it did to me. It says cannot find a route. What that means is I'm probably going to have to take a boat at some point in that journey. There may not be a good road or connection. Well, you can see right there, 2 separate islands. There's probably bridges or something there, but I'm probably going to have to take a boat. So I could drive from place to place, but I can't in this situation. So I can't use that route. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that layer right there, and I'm going to delete that layer. Most of you will have driving routes. Now those driving routes are going to appear down here at the bottom. They won't appear as lines in the middle, but that's okay. So if you can drive from every place to every place else, that's awesome. But if you can't, it's all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make a route, because I think I can probably, let's say, get a little water taxi. And so I'm going to take and I'm going to make a line up here, and I'm going to use multiple points here. And so I'm going to go there, 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 there. And how do I end? I tap that line at the end. I'm going to take that line, and I'm going to call it airport to hotel. Now, those of you who have on-land locations, this is so much easier, which is why I wanted to do it over water, because it's a little more complicated. And I can adjust each of those points if I want to. I can kind of zoom in on them. You see I kind of missed my hotel, and I can just drag that point over, and it snaps. You can kind of see how it snapped on, except I think I missed again. There we go. So it kind of snaps. I do want that point to end on the location. And looks like I did the same thing. Looks like I missed a little bit over here. I'm going to take that pin and I'm going to snap it up there. There we go. So we're going to start. But you can see over here, probably not the best roads and things. I bet if I were to go to Bora Bora, there is some kind of road there. Google just doesn't know where it is. So, but we're just going to say, be exciting. Take that. I did accidentally drop another point up here. Oops. And I want to just delete that one. Okay. All right. Now, where am I going to do with this line? I'm going to take this line, airport, and I'm going to drag it up here from your airport to your hotel or your house or wherever you're going. Now, the next 3 pins that we are going to do are going to be between your hotel. We're going to do your hotel to your first activity. All right, which happens to be, for me, stand-up paddleboarding. Now I'm going to assume that mine, I have to do stand-up paddleboarding, which I used a kayaker on that one. But I'm going to go here and I'm going to do a line. I'm going to make this as reasonable as possible. You could do a straight line if you want to. But those of you who are overachievers, I'm going to start there. And I'm going to go right there, and I'm going to end that line. There we go. And we're going to hotel to paddleboarding. Now you're noticing I'm not adding images and things here. Maybe you want to add a picture of a water taxi, but I don't really. So hotel to paddleboarding, that's awesome. We can see that I missed, I hit the point back there, but I missed the point over here. So I'm going to take that one and I'm going to, whoops, drag it. There we go. All right. Hotel to paddleboarding, all awesome. You'll notice that there is a pin, like Google has pins all over it, but you'll notice I made all mine purple. And so the purple ones are the only ones that I have to worry about. Okay. Now I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to take this one, and where am I going to move it? I'm going to move it between my hotel and my first one. And then my next pin. I'm not going from here to there. I'm going from my hotel to there. Now I'm going to assume that I need to go ahead and go around the island for this one, probably the fastest way. So I'm going to start there again. And then I'm going to say, I'm going to go down to here. I'm going to go over here. And then I'm going to come up to there. And I'm going to end it. And again, hotel to, what was I doing? Oh, hotel to Manta Rays. And we can save that one. Now, the cool thing, I can come in here and I can go, oh, you know what? I probably didn't need that to be like that. And I can shift these pins around just like we did our walking routes that we did before. Okay, and I could make that come out a little bit more, mess with it a bit, and you'll see it just adds some extra drop pins and things. All right, so you can mess with that if you want to. Looks like I got that one pretty solid. I'm going to drag that one up right below. Oh, that was swimming with pigs. I'll have to change that one. Which again, if I need to change it, just tap on the line, and I'm going to edit hotel to swim with pigs. Oh. I'm going to save that. Now I'm going to put that one up there. Stop, legend. There we go. Then you're going to do your lines. And we don't need to do another line back to the airport because we're going to use the same route. So all you need to have is either driving route. And so down here at the bottom, you will have that pop up. All right. Now, once again, once we're all done with this and you have points and lines and connections between all of your things, then we can come over here and we can do preview. And this starts to show all of those things that we did. And it shows the entire line of our trip. So if we did want to put a picture there of our airplane on the line to give people something to look at, we could do that. And then we arrive at our Bora Bora National Airport, shows our image there of the airport, and then Bora Bora Intercontinental, and it's all right there. Okay, now here's what we want to do. We want to take this right here, and we want to take that link. That link is the one you're going to share with me. Please do not share this with your legend and all your editing. Don't share that with me. I want to see when you click on the preview, you're going to click on your back here. Oh, we need to do one thing. I noticed that that's untitled layer, and we never did that. We're going to click on these little three dots. We're going to hit rename that layer, and we are going to call this our trip points layer. All right, so that's our trip points layer, and we hit save. Now that says trip points. So once you put all of your things on there, I want you to zoom into your kind of end location. I don't need you to see that big line because I will be able to see that on the other one. But once you have this, show me your legend, show me this, and you are going to take a screenshot of that. And then you are going to come over here to your preview. And remember how we get there? We get there through this little preview button. You're going to come here to your perfect vacation. I'm going to refresh that. Now it'll say, oh, it shouldn't say untitled layer. We'll do this one more time. The trip points. Okay. This right here is the link you're going to send me. So I highlight that whole thing. Make sure you have the whole thing and hit copy. That's the link you're going to turn in. And then how do we turn in that screenshot we took? Well, we don't turn it in directly from camera roll. We have to go to Google Drive, and we're going to add that upload of that screenshot. Again, should be the most recent right there at the top. And we are going to upload. We're going to leave it that image thing. No, we're not leaving it as that image thing. What do? We have to rename it. And this one is going to be, I know you guys can see it and you're yelling at me right now. Okay, so this one's going to be Google Maps. Actually, let's just call this Maps. Maps day. Is it day 3? I think it's day 3. And then space hyphen space last name. Okay. Yep. Okay. So Maps day 3. We have that. And then in your Google Classroom, you're going to attach that link to your preview map, and you're going to attach this screenshot of your points with your legend open. Remember, I want to be able to see. I want to be able to see your legend, and I want to be able to see your points when you get to your location. Okay? All right, my friends. So this is finally how you do that. Now, you can, up here with share, do a couple different things. If you wanted someone else to be able to edit the map, don't let me edit your map. I'm going to own it anyway once you turn it in, but I will return it to you. You can share the link, all right? And then you can give people viewing privilege, and they can come in and they view the map. But the easiest way to do that is to just copy that link and share it with your friends and family. And they can see that and they can share it with you. Very cool way to tell a story. Very cool way to do a book report. Think traveling, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, or Percy Jackson, where they travel over the world. This is an awesome way to do. If any of you have read the book 39 Clues or the series 39 Clues, imagine how cool that would be, actually seeing the locations that they talk about in 39 Clues. This is a super cool way to do a book report for that. Your teacher would be very impressed. I would be very impressed. As a matter of fact, that was how I really learned about this. Is I went to a conference about 10 or 15 years ago when Google Maps was not that friendly, and you had to do this using code. I learned how to do this using code. And that was someone had done a Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I have used this to teach about volcanoes. So in science, it's very cool. You can show the 3 different types of volcanoes. Go to Vesuvius, go to Honolulu, go to some different places where they have the different types of volcanoes. And there's just lots of cool things to do this. If you wanted to keep a travel log, you go on a big trip. I'm going to Montana this summer. And if I wanted to take pictures of every location I went to and just update this map, because I can, once I send that link out, I can keep updating this map. This is a live map. And so I could just send that link to my family and friends, and they could travel with me every day. I could drop a new pin and say, this is where we're staying tonight. Here's some pictures of where we're staying tonight. They could zoom in and see the campground I'm staying at, whatever. So there are lots of very cool, fun ways to tell stories with Google Maps. Use your creativity. I hope you had fun with this lesson. This is really good. This is the last time we're going to use Google Maps today. Tomorrow, being Thursday, I'm going to introduce this next and final topic, which is going to be animation. And it's going to be fun, and we're not going to do as much as some of the other kids. You've heard the infamous 1,000-slide project. That's not going to happen this time. And bestest news, no names test. I'm going to let you guys off the hook. I think it's just too hard to learn names without actually sitting in the same room with people. So I'm going to let you guys off the hook with the names test. I hope you learned the names. I still think it's really important that you learn your classmates' names, but I'm going to let you off the hook on this one. So hopefully you had a good time doing this, and I hope you find some way to use this in your classrooms or in your personal life in the future, because it is a cool, very cool app. But that's all I have for this one today. So animation on Thursday, make sure and turn in your screenshot and your points and your shared map with me today or tomorrow, before Thursday anyway. And I will talk to you on Thursday.